Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wedding MBA podcast. We talk to the amazing presenters and educators and experts that grace our stages at the Wedding MBA conference, which this year, 2026, will be November 17th through the 19th at the Las Vegas Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you want to get your tickets as quickly as you can because they get more expensive the closer we get to the conference. So go to weddingmba.com, click on purchase your tickets, and do yourself a big favor. Use the discount code CLINT, CLINT. It's my name. And you put that in the discount box, you'll get $20 off your purchase. Bing, bang, boom. I am so excited about today's special guest. It's the first time she's been on the podcast. It's the first time that she's going to be actually speaking in a full session at the conference, and she is legit. She is the one and only Sonja Babich. Sonja, how are you?
Hi, Clint. Oh, so good. It's beautiful in Minnesota today, so I'm smiling big.
Oh, smiling big. I like that. That's a good way to live your life. I'm glad that you said you're in Minnesota. Tell everybody what you do and why you do it in Minnesota.
I'm the owner and CEO of Iron Diamond. I own 7 brands. I say brands over publications, but 7 brands across the country. So Minnesota Bride, Wisconsin Bride, Nebraska Wedding Day, Washington Wedding Day, Oregon Wedding Day, California Wedding Day, and the beautiful Arizona Bride. Besides that, I do own a wedding show as well, the Minnesota Wedding Show, which is previously owned by the Wedding Guys. I acquired that two-ish years ago, and then finally I have a podcast, Wedding Day Podcast. So busy bee, busy team, and I love what I do. Feel so blessed.
I don't want to gloss over the fact that you mentioned 7 publications, 7?
7, and one's
That's
possibly on the way. So, but yeah, 7 currently right now. Yes.
Wait, did you just tease that you're going to add another market?
Yep, I'm not releasing the beans yet, but it's coming. So
Okay. All right. Something to look out for. And how long have you been in the media business?
Great question. Joined the process in 2019, and then I acquired the company in 2021. So I'll actually be celebrating my 5th anniversary at Wedding MBA. We may have a party. We're working on it because we had a blast last year having a party. It was sold out, so we're in the works of planning the next one. And of course, I'll share all the details when that is released.
So that's exciting. Everybody loves a party.
It'll be so much fun. And again, I love having fun and planning a good party. So
plus your guest list is 5,000 of your closest friends and family, because that's how many people typically attend the conference. It's phenomenal. Those of you who are joining the podcast for the first time, we also have it's audio and video. First time that we're going into YouTube, which is obviously the way of the world. And just so you know, you can get a heads up on the conference schedule. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, now this is the schedule. If you go to weddingmba.com and you click on seminars, then you will see a complete schedule of everybody that's talking and what they're talking about. And if you scroll down to Wednesday at 2 p.m., you will see cover story, how to get published with Sonja Babich. There you go. Now, just so you know, this is kind of like an overview of what she might be talking about. Well, we're going to get back into what she actually will talk about right now. So there's a million different ways that this whole thing about getting published can be approached, and you have your own unique take on it. So I'm going to let you dive in any way you want to, Sonja. Go ahead.
A lot of you may not know, I was a past wedding professional. So I actually planned 500 weddings, Clint, before joining the publishing world.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I ran a venue, wore all the hats, and actually was a client, like all of you. Where do I put my marketing dollars? I put my marketing dollars in shows, publishing, all the things, the Knot, Wedding Wire. I did them all. So I took that knowledge in the position. I was actually the first one to be hired as a past wedding professional, and I used my knowledge of like how I experienced it being a part of a company, like using my marketing dollars and that pressure of like making the right decisions to put my brand out there, and what I can get out of it from them. So that's a big thing from it. But at the end of it, we're also, when I want to remind the listener that we're a business too, and people forget about that being published. It takes a team to produce that. It takes a team to put it on the website, to put it on social media, to put it in an e-newsletter, to put it in a magazine. It takes work and energy, like even the photo selection, getting the content, making sure we're taking all the right pros that are involved, and telling actually a real good story. So like it takes a lot of work to make that happen. And the value of being published is huge because that's part of the interviewing process for one with selecting your wedding pros on the day of. I always say when you're being published in something, it just shows that credibility that you're legit. So it is like an honor to be chosen. Like we get thousands of submissions for all our publications, and to select just 20 real weddings, that's hard. And so looking at all the things that are leading edge, educational, beautiful, good story, like there's so many factors of selecting that wedding when it comes to like really for me to financially being like that is worth being published, to spend thousands of dollars to be published in my magazine, and being excited about it as well, because we don't want to keep publishing the same thing over and over again, right? We want to challenge us, and we want to challenge our readers, even our wedding pros who follow us, and like they get inspired from our editorial or our events to be like, how can I do that in my venue? How can I produce the installation? How can I start working with that wedding planner? So I try to also be that connector and a community for the wedding pros too, besides getting in front of the engaged couples, because it's just this big like evolution of, well, it's a lot. Like I'm probably overloading everybody with it, but like publishing is just wanting to get in front of the right couples. So you have luxury couples. I shouldn't say the word luxury because some people like take that term so differently. Just the client that's meant for you. And publishing just helps that process of connecting the dots faster. Yeah, there's leads, there's all that, like it's false. It's like there's so many ways to brand your business, and it's how you're branding and who you want to be branded with. And a lot of times it is with the publisher, it is with a brand like us, because you want to target those correct clients. But the whole process of selecting editorial, who we work with, it's a business, right? And it shouldn't be all pay to play. It also needs to be not free cheese all the time either. Because I think if you look back in the 90s, it was a lot of free cheese. And that's why a lot of publications disappeared, because they weren't taking care of their clients. We try to do this really pretty marriage of taking care of our members that keep our lights on, right? But also you need the organic content, right? To be making sure that we are sticking to our mission of being inspirational, educational, and maybe challenging our clients to be that level too, if that makes sense. Like I can just keep going and going.
No, it's fine. You said some things that aroused my curiosity. A couple of things was, number one, it seems to be like a symbiotic relationship between you and the people that are submitting content to you in the hopes that they'll get published. But I think what I heard you say is that it has to be interesting to the end user in your business. So in other words, you also mentioned very briefly, and people who for an older generation, all we thought about was magazines, because that's all that existed before the internet came along. And then the current generation of event professionals, they grew up in this world of digital content. Now you're thinking about all the different platforms in which that content can be showcased. And sometimes we don't think of that. We forget as wedding professionals that there's all these different platforms that you're now going to disperse content to. Did I hear that right?
Yeah. And newsstand sales are up. Print is back. And it's more of a luxury item. Like if you go pick up a magazine, they're $14.99. Because one, it's expensive to print it and produce it. But also, I feel like today's couple, they're getting sick of this. They want something tangible. It's their turn to get married. They want to flip and be like, wow, I can have that, and not be like lost and swipe it to the next thing. In the publishing world, so I'm actually publisher of the year out of Niche Media. And when I say publishers, those are businesses. I'm a publishing company, okay? Publishers are more respected when they have a physical publishing magazine that they produce. When they don't, you're not, in our eyes, legit, because you're not investing in this expensive product. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I want to interject here, because every bridal show that I've been to here in Southern California, there's a table that has a whole bunch of California Wedding Day magazines there for people to take for free. There you go. Yeah. Okay, great. And I will say this, the paper that it's printed on is very quality from A to Z. I just reached out to an event planner that I saw showcased, not specifically the event planner, but the venue that was showcased in the event planner is the one that gave all of the expert commentary on that particular venue. And I had never heard of her before. And I reached out and I said, that's amazing. You did a great job. Congratulations. And so there's so many different ways, if I understand correctly, Sonja, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, that submitting and getting published, we've already talked about all the different ways that it's going to hit the world. The way that you can also establish new relationships just through the magazine or through the content that's being distributed by your company. I mean, there's so many different ways in which it can provide return on investment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I'm going to share you a couple of things. The biggest thing that comes to me is when my clients come up to me and they go, I was booked. They saw me a part of your event that you published in the magazine. They booked me because I was the photographer for that event. I'm like, that just like makes my heart so happy. And again, it's how you position yourself as pros to get that client, right? And knowing your brand. Being published via print, digital, the bonuses is that you get the print, the luxury that you are printed in a physical copy. You're still going to get the SEO and all the matrix because this has to waterfall across everything, right? So it's going to be on say your real wedding will be published on the website. It'll be featured in an e-newsletter. It'll be featured on a social media. So like the perk of being published just digital, you're still getting 3 out of the 4. But that fourth one being printed in a publication physical copy is just more respect and more legit.
I agree. And the other thing I like about it is that now the vendor who got published in any way possible, if they're listed as the photographer on a venue showcase or whatever, now they can actually put that on their marketing materials as seen in X, Y, and Z. All right. So we've established the groundwork of the benefit of being published and connecting with your, any media company as far as that goes. Now we need to answer the question of how. Now, you did at the very beginning, you said it has to be an interesting story. And every single piece of content that is submitted to you has to support a story that somehow has a unique flavor to it. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, like, and there's so many things you should think about. Like, so I want to make my editorial department proud and my Laura Burnett, my editorial director. But like when they look at submissions, they have to look at all the love stories, all ethnicities, where in the state they had a wedding. Because we just don't want to be so just focused on LA, right? We want to pull from San Francisco, want to pull from San Diego. So you want to show the whole state, especially being a regional publication. So you're looking at that. Again, you're looking at all the different love stories, same sex, all the things. Because I can't just print all blondes. I can't just print all brunettes, right? So I have to show all the different love stories across the state. Different ages. We're publishing older weddings. They have the money. They have these beautiful bougie weddings at a beautiful resort on the beach. Like, why wouldn't we do that? Because it's a beautiful love story. So again,
let me interject right there. What I just heard you say, for the professional that would like to get published, to not censor themselves, to realize that the wedding industry has expanded in terms of interest and influence. And if there's anything unique about it, it doesn't make any difference who the clients are or where it is, but if they think it's unique, then they should submit it. Does that make sense?
Yes. And of course, I don't want do-it-yourself weddings. I want the most wedding pros involved in a wedding too. We don't want the one that went to Costco and put their arrangements together. Absolutely not, because that doesn't bring value to pros. We don't want to publish that. We want to bring the value to the professionals that are all involved to produce this awesome wedding. It could be an intimate suite wedding or 400-person wedding. It could be in the mountains wedding with a lot of pros that took days to get to a location. Like the story and the pros working together, that's the story we want to produce.
And what is the best way for people to submit their content? Do they need to establish a relationship with a particular editor, or can they just kind of throw it out there?
On all our websites, there's a portal, there's an email address currently right now to submit. And that goes to a specific submission email that our editorial department looks at besides our publishers. So that's another thing. It's not just working directly with the editor. You need to be working with publishers too. In the old days, like just the editor. But if you're a client, your publisher is actually your captain. They're taking care of you, saying, hey, my goal is to be published in Arizona Bride this year. Or my goal is to plan an event for Arizona Bride. My goal is to produce a style shoot for Arizona Bride. Your publisher is your cheerleader because the editorial department is so busy, producing this magazine. They're producing editorial for digital, social media, all our different platforms. And the publisher is there to jump in and be like, your Jubilee wants to plan the next one. What's the lineup? Is anybody taking for that? No, I would love to work with your Jubilee. Perfect. Make the introductions fly. That's the part of the community aspect of our brands, is like working together to produce this beautiful editorial to bring the client's value with their goals and mission.
Look what I have here. This is the California Wedding Day magazine that I've just been going through. And here's the way I think about this. You correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking that if the people that are published in this particular magazine, which I have a ton of respect for, now they're at the level that I think I'm going to collaborate with, that I'm going to find, like, what do we call that? Similar souls, so to speak. And so that's why I went to this magazine. Inside the magazine, there's a page that has all of the key individuals that work for the company. Does that make sense?
That is called a masthead.
Right. Okay, there you go. So those who are interested in submitting, you can find the people that marketing and publishing, editorial, art and production, da da da. Da. You can find the people that you want to submit to. Now, you guide me through this. What do you think I should do with that information?
So when you go to that page, you're going to look for the publisher, and also you're going to notice who has an email under their name. And you're going to see that there's one name there or two names with email addresses, and that's who you contact, the
Brilliant.
publisher. And
Brilliant.
she'll
Okay.
start the journey for you and hold your hand.
Now, should they look at what's already been submitted to see the format of what should be submitted new? In other words, how many photos, how the text is formatted, how much text goes into a story? Is it worthwhile to look at what's already been published in order to format their submission?
Great question. So when you're submitting, you also need to look at what's the upcoming issue, right? So right now, for California Wedding Day, for example, the fall winter issue is live. So it's going to be heavy on that for those upcoming trends. Our next issue will be coming out in December 1st at our issue release party. And that shows spring summer upcoming trends, right? So you have to also feel like, is this leading edge? Is this new and different? You can look through the current issue and be like, all my weddings look just like that. Don't let that stop you. I still want you to submit, right? If you had the best experience with that couple, tell us the story. So like 500 words, 20 photo gallery is all we need. But if you want to be an overachiever, go for it. But like, we want the detail shots. I don't want couple shots, all of them. I need like installations, the reception, the ceremony, the florals, the flat lay. I want detail shots. And I know the editorial wants detail shots. If the detail shots are looking great, wow, you may have our layout ready to go just within that 20. Or that's a good enough sneak peek to be like, hey girl, I want more, right? Give me more photos. So don't spend hours and hours giving us 200 photos. Give us one that's going to catch your attention. Good 500 word, 250 word. That's like, this is a good story. This couple met here. Boom. Great day. Or a storm came through. We saved the tent. Da, 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 they still got married.
I love stuff like that. And also, it's
Yeah.
really important that they acknowledge or tag every professional that was involved in that particular event, correct?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Because again, we want to over credit. And then when we're proofing, we look at the photos, I'm like, oh, I see paper. Oh, do we have a paper credit? Good. We want to put all the credits. And again, if you're going to be the submitter, you're also being accountable and making sure as well that you're getting all the pros tagged. And again, we're going to then work directly with the submitter, which is usually the photographer and the wedding planner. They're usually the ones that submit most often. We get a lot of real couples. Couples will actually submit theirs too, which is really, really cool. We're getting more of that. But then we work directly who submitted it to be like proofing everything, layout, etc., fact checking, so making sure we're not missing anybody, so then they don't get the angry calls either if we miss somebody.
Oh, the angry calls. Oh, Sonja, I have one last question. You mentioned that there's a spring summer edition and there's a winter fall edition. And so if somebody, it's almost like the events are a little bit evergreen. Like if somebody is now going to submit for the fall winter edition and they've done a wedding that fits that timeline, maybe from 6 to 8 months ago, is that still valid in order to get into the season that's being submitted? Does that make sense?
Yeah, we want content within the year. Yep.
Yeah.
So a wedding within the last.
Okay. So there's a 12-month window.
Yeah. And also another rule is if you're submitting to us, we're now assuming that it has not been published anywhere else, even digitally, because we want to be the big reveal. Look, here is our issue, hasn't been published or seen anywhere. And that's the same thing with when you're producing a style shoot. I don't want you to give the beans away when you're producing a style shoot that you're aiming to be published. Give a little BTS, like a little sneak peek, black and white. Don't give everything away, because we want to be the ones to be like, woohoo, like when we reveal it, right? Because that's the big wow factor for everybody, for our readers, even the wedding professionals as well.
All right. Speaking of wow factor, before we say goodbye to you, a few days ago, Taylor Swift got married to Travis Kelce. And before we hit the record button, you had a unique take on that just from your perspective as a publisher. Dive right in.
All right, guys. Again, I'm not a Swiftie, but I respect her and I feel like I got a vibe with her. I have a couple of theories. I have two mainly. One is that she is gonna wait and release her wedding in a publication, and I really pray she does. For example, I hope it's in Vogue and that it's going to be released on this day, just like her albums come out, and everybody floods to the newsstands to go buy the Taylor Swift publication. It could be a solo publication. It could be within Vogue's pages or another. Like, it's just, I feel in my heart that's what she's going to do if she decides to share it. And which is great for the publishing world. So I'm crossing my fingers. I really don't think she's going to go digital because she's worth for print. Like when the Times magazine came out and she was on the cover, that was a big thing. Just like when her albums come out. Also, I have a theory that she's not going to share it at all. It's her one day with her family and friends. It's just like anybody's wedding day. You want to keep it private with everybody you love. And it's one thing that she doesn't have to have opinions on, what she wore, what she did. Because sometimes when she gets those opinions, she writes another song about it, right? And maybe it's like, oh, it's going to be like National Treasure. Her guest list is going to be in the National Library, hidden between the books, and nobody's going to know who actually attended the wedding unless they have the secret code. And it's only released to so many people, and a couple photos will be shared. So we'll see what she does.
I'm so glad you gave us that perspective on it. Yeah, I heard somebody say that there are weddings that have high security, but this was a high security event that happened to have a wedding.
And I called Madison Square Garden. All my team's like, no, that doesn't seem like her. I'm like, you guys, my hat's going on as a past wedding professional. It is secure. It is safe. There's so many ways in, there's so many ways out, and there's tons of hotels for everybody to flood in their ways to not be seen. I'm like, it's going to happen there. And as an artist, that is the number one dream you want to perform at. So why wouldn't you want your wedding day at the place you always dream of having your best event of your life? And that's your wedding day.
I agree. Plus, yeah, somebody made a great observation that Madison Square Garden has an incredible relationship with the New York Police Department. And so everything was there ready to all be cohesive and all work together. It's brilliant. All right. You're amazing, Sonja. I'm so excited about your session at the Wedding MBA conference. I know people are going to want to reach out to you. What's the best way for them to do that?
You know, honestly, the best way is to DM me. My inbox is already full. My team is like, don't direct them to your emails. So if you can DM me, I'd love to connect. It's Sonja_Iron Diamond. And of course, I can always introduce you to any team members that I have on Iron Diamond to help you join the fun with Iron Diamond or learn more about this world. So here to help.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sonja. All right, everybody. There you go. That's the way it works at the Wedding MBA conference. You can see we don't goof around. We want to give you the best information we possibly can to help you grow your business in the way that you want to grow it. But it's not really going to do you any good unless you actually go to the conference. So go to weddingmba.com, click on purchase your tickets, use the discount code Clint. It's my name, CLINT, and you will get $20 off your purchase. That's it for this episode of the Wedding MBA podcast. This is Clint, and on behalf of Sonja, we will see you next time.